right, y'all. So we're gonna go over here to Trade Locker. This is gold. So I always will generally do this the hour that we're closed. So it's a little bit easier to see trades, but based on what I have projected, I have aced 3 trades, one big trade, 3 small trades inside of the big trade. Okay. The big trade is 3 days in profit. And then one of those trades inside of those 3 days uh finished completely in profit. The next one we're actually currently in, it's about to pull and it's in profit as well. We're about in profit 0.6, so about 60%. Okay, which is gonna now the next hour, we have 55 minutes right here. Okay, so in that trajectory, it'll enter right into the pretty much I like to say the safe zone, where what we would do is we would now move this up like this. Okay, and then we just move it like this. Okay, and so it's going to enter right in, and you're going to start to see it as it transitions right into that marker, that bandwidth, and then it'll go right into take profit. And you also want to look at these parallel lines, y'all. So as you start to see that, you could see that even if it goes a little bit and it's in a little bit of the stop, not the stop loss, but it's a little bit negative. It's because it's buffering before it will hit this parallel uh profit as it goes through a sell. Okay. So one big thing too is as you are trading, it's very important to look at where are the trend lines at, where are the support, where are the resistance, what type of charts or patterns are happening. I've already drawn most of these charts and patterns. As you could see, I did this big one. So this is like over the course of days, and every single one of them, based on the charts that I've built, have hit. And it makes it easier to track future trades. 1,000,000%. When you track it right the first time, it's easier to keep your tracking. It's easier to keep it in alignment because of you're already in alignment with the previously tracked trade. Okay. So before I share one more time, I'm going to go right back over here. Okay. And so one big thing about this is that as we are trading and as we are in this market, the gold market, I also want you guys to see that I have projected this to be around 2470, which is exactly what I posted on Instagram today, as well as it'll aim to about 2450 on its lowest point. Okay. And this is going to be over the trajectory of about 3 days. And so it's Tuesday. So let's say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which will be the 6th. So I've actually drawn this big trade out to 5.5, which I don't like to do too many trades on Friday. I'll have a half day on Friday. So my ultimate trading schedule is Monday through Friday afternoon. Okay. And that Monday is actually Sunday night when it opens at 6. That's when the market opens across the world for gold, because gold is a global commodity. It's not just the US dollar, which has something to do with the US, or doesn't have something just to do with the Japanese yen or the Great British pound or Great Britain pound. It doesn't have something to do with the Australian dollar or the Belizean dollar or anything. Those are all based on, specific locations. But gold transcends all of those locations. In every one of those areas that I just named, gold is a commodity. Gold is valuable to them. So that is the main point of why gold opens at that time and why it closes at specific times and why it has a little bit different market availability. As well as getting into this, we can talk about NAS 100 or NAS 100, as well as US 30. Eventually, as you guys become more and more advanced traders, I already have 2 or 3 traders who are on it trading NAS 100, including myself, because NAS 100, I would say, has the availability to make as much money as when you're in gold, but it's a little less volatile. Depends on your lot sizes. I truly believe that if you calculate your lot size the proper way, it's only a matter of time until you do pass your prop firm challenge, until you do pass the challenge. Because if you have a low enough lot size and you're just slowly micromanaging it, not in a negative way, when you're, slowly micromanaging it and the wins, and you're not losing big amounts, you're not gaining big amounts either, but there's generally a higher win to loss ratio when also trading with smaller lot sizes. Just so you guys know, some of this might seem like gibberish to some newcomers, me recording this, but that's where the coaching comes involved. That's where the courses are involved, where each call that I do, I'm recording. Okay. And all of these are going to go onto the courses for you guys to be able to consume, so then you guys can learn. It helps consolidate my time, because I know that as I get better also at trading, people are going to want to learn more. And as they get better at trading, they're going to also want to learn more. So let's kind of get into these 4 trades. So there's this one big trade. I caught it about 1 day early, as you could see. So your dates are going to be down here, guys. Okay. So the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. So this was like it was the 28th at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 1800 hours. So 6 p.m. Okay. And then overnight, actually probably over about 2 nights. So this is about 1 day right here. And this is about, so yeah, it was actually a 2 days that it was in what we would consider like negative, but it didn't hit stop loss. That's what I'm saying. So it's in our trade, as you can see, but it's really just at that point where we're seeing certain parts of the market. Then it's about 2.5 days, which we're currently in profit. Okay. And this is going to be about a 7 or 8 day trade. Okay. So about a day and a half. Okay. Then it goes about 2.5 days, and we've hit, not only are we in profit in the big trade, we've already taken 1 profit on this trade. We're about to take profit on this next trade, which will open in 48 minutes, which will enter right into this next trade. And then I can project it will end around here somewhere. We've already had 1 breakout here. We've had 3 breakouts here. You can also see different patterns too, guys. Like, a lot of people have a lot of questions. You guys have a lot of the right questions. I think one of the biggest things is go on Pinterest. That's the way I learned. I obviously learned how to do different lines and stuff, but you can't mess something up that you've never learned before. You just can't, because even the failure is going to teach you something. And so I've learned different types of things. Like, to some people, when they read this, they'll just see lines and they'll see colors and they'll see other things. Me, I see the bats. Like, I see a bat right here. I see a bat right here. This is a bearish. This is a bearish. Okay. So we're going to be able to see those. And as those 2 bearishes are telling you, that's telling you that it's going to sell. Now, there are buys in sells and there are sells in buys, but you have to see, are you placing a longer trade? Are you placing a shorter trade? So in a bigger trade, in a bigger, let's say, for this instance, this is a bigger sell trade. There might be shorter buys within that longer sell trade. And that is becoming more of an experienced trader, because in this instance, okay, if you're just focused on these as like hours, each of these is an hour. Okay. Each of these lines is an hour. Okay, so let's say that there's about 36 of these here, maybe like 28 of these here. Okay. The majority of them are sells. Okay. Couple of them are buys, a few of them are buys. Okay. But you can still make money on each of the buys and each of the sells because that's an hour worth of trading. Okay. And so if you placed most of those hours correctly, you could have 28 wins, even if they were buys or sells, which is the important part. So you could sell in a big trade, which you could see this huge square. Okay. And right now it's in profit. No matter what, we could pull profit right now. Okay. And based on this, this would be thousands of dollars. Okay. And so it's not only are you learning based on the trade, but you're also placing mini trades within the larger trade. It's kind of like, think of like years within decades. There's 10 years within one decade. Okay. So one big trade, 10 little trades. Okay. Stuff like that. So very easy to comprehend, and you can start to see things. And then you can also start to see this too. This is like a gambling technique that some people use. I think it's more that this is how people strategize for gambling. So if they see 3 wins back to back to back, or they see 5 wins back to back to back, well, eventually there has to be a sell, or if they see it going in green, or they see it going in profit in a buy, they like a bunch of buys, they see 5 buys in a row, eventually that's going to have to sell. And so you could start to see like, oh, there's, yeah, sure, there's 8 sells right here, but now there's 5 buys that follow it. Then there's one big sell, then there's one buy, then there's 3 sells. So you could start to see the correlation, and then also how strong are those sells, how weak are the buys, how strong are the buys, how weak are the sells. You could start to see different things like this. I don't want to overcomplicate this, but there are some experienced traders on here, so I'm not going to bore them either. And I'm going to do a lot of these different intermediate courses and advanced stuff. So what I did was I placed 2 sells right here because I already drew this up. Then I sent out the Instagram message to you guys and said, hey, this is going to be a sell week. This is a huge sell week. Okay. And so I placed one big sell, which is exactly what I told you guys. And then I placed a bunch of mini ones. But right in between here, I saw this huge sell waterfall. And that told me that, hey, that has to rebalance, and there's going to be a buy. And that's right when Joel sent a buy. Okay. So Joel sent the buy. And like I said, we're about 60% within this buy right now. So we made money on that. We made money on the sell. This one pulled itself. As you can see, it pulled itself right here. Okay. Then ultimately, this is going to go right back into starting this trade again. And because it's going up, because it's rebalancing, it's going to what? Now it's already balanced, but it's already been doing all this buying. And if it's going to balance itself, or it stays balanced, it's going to just even out. That even out period, and it's going to follow the trend, which is a slight downtrend. Okay, right now, gold is the highest that it's ever been, and it's going to continue to rise. But I do believe that over the next month, at least the next 2 weeks, it'll be in a sell. And it's just to even out the market a little bit, and then it'll probably kick off for the holidays. And so during this period of time is when you can make quite a bit of money. Okay. And so let's say like for this period, this would be about September 3rd at 1800. So 6 o'clock, it's going to open it's based on New York hours. So in 40 minutes, it'll be 6 o'clock in New York. Okay. And then this period will end around 4 o'clock on the 4th. Okay. In New York time. So if I wanted to, I could actually adapt this trade just a little bit to just do an easy 20. There you go. That's boom. That's 24 hours. So this is a 24-hour trade. And I truly believe that what you do is you go macro, micro, micro day trading. Okay. So you go one day, then you do 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15, 10 minutes. And you narrow it down to, minute by minute trading. but you first have to draw the big picture first. A lot of people want to draw the small picture first, but you have to, like, enough people have not zoomed out. They have Trade Locker, but they've never zoomed out and actually like just looked at this entire thing. If you zoom out, you'll first and foremost see that gold is the highest that it's ever been. Okay. And you could see a slight uptrend in this aspect, and you'll keep zooming out, you could see it. Okay. Then as you start to zoom back in, you start to see, okay, well, there's the uptrend still at an uptrend, still at an uptrend. It has to balance out. There has to have a slight downtrend to create a straight line, right? Okay, so, and that is what the market is. The market is a straight line. It's a straight line of ones and zeros ultimately, ups and downs. And some people just see it as green and red, you know. Some people see ones as going down and ones as going up. That's really what it is. There's a multitude of things. You can make money in a sell. You can make money in a buy. So they're both ones. Okay, you can lose money in a buy. You can lose money in a sell. They could both be potential losses. So the key is really just determining the market, being able to measure its geometry. It's that, look, I know some of you guys are into spirituality and other different things. You guys know enough to understand what I'm about to tell you guys. They do, okay, these types of sequences in the market is based on the Elliott wave. If you've ever heard of Elliott wave, the Fibonacci sequence, okay, the same sequence that creates flowers, the same sequence that creates all living structures, the platonic solids, all these little things that go on in our day. All of these Fibonacci sequences are within these things. So everything is going to even out. Everything is absolutely going to even out in the market. You just have to be able to draw the lines the proper way, which is not as difficult as you think. And then you could start to see very powerful aspects in the market. So I've gotten really good at this. I'm not going to have this video go too long, but I've gotten really good at this to where I can start to see the market, what it's going to do before it's going to happen. I picked up this trade about a day and a half early because I zoomed out. That was my main thing. I zoomed out and then I zoomed in. Okay. I didn't just be like, I will focus on this. I'll focus. A lot of us will wake up, we'll look at our Akashics, we'll be like, all right, it says buy limit today. I'm going to buy limit today. All right, it says buy market today. I'm going to do buy market. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but I do think that, you know, for the people who want to educate themselves on manual trading, it's very important to educate yourself on manual trading. And then you could see where some of these buy limits are, these buy markets are, you know, stop orders, all these things that might confuse you. Now you'll kind of understand it because you've learned manual trading. So that's ultimately the cultivation in 3 out of 4 of our trades. Like it hasn't even entered the 4th trade. So 3 out of 3 of our trades that have kicked, they're in profit. So the main one overseeing all of it, the minor one and the second one, and then this one is about to enter in the market once it opens. Okay, like that will be the new hour at 1800. It's scheduled right at 1800. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about market analysis or technical analysis, it's easier than you think. Don't let it just complicate you, have you give up. Less is more ultimately. Don't be afraid to just draw lines and see different things. But the main thing is you want to connect as many points as possible. You want to see where the trends are. So like this is technically right here is technically a this is a support line. A support as in it's the ground floor of it. So this point right here and this point right here are the same, and those are okay. And then up here are main high points. This is a little bit of a breakout, but you could actually take this. You can shoot this all the way over. Boom, right there. You could see how this is a slight breakout. Okay. This is a slight breakout, but you when you see little idiosyncrasies like that, just leave them. Okay. But you want to connect as many points as possible. And then they will literally tell you, I mean, you can even see this one will connect with this. Look at, boom. It all makes sense, guys. Everything is completely aligned when you look at it like this, because now you could see that it has to go, it has to. This is obviously a slight breakout out of this pipeline right here. Okay. So up, down, pretty much a slight breakout right here. Okay. It's going to have some of those, but ultimately you could see where it's going to go. So you know that it's going to probably go here. Okay. We'll stay right in here, right in this, but it's not going to hit stop loss because it's not going to hit this resistance point. Okay. And then ultimately it will drop back down through this pipeline, and hopefully it has slight of a breakout. That'd be awesome. And then it would withdraw the trade at 6 p.m. on the 4th. Okay, which is tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, it'll pull this trade. If it's in profit, what we would do is if we see it, because remember the market closes, we see it, we would just extend it an hour or two. That's it. And then it would stay in. And then once it closes, it'll automatically close. So we could see that, just so you could see that. Okay. So very easy. You could see it. 3rd to the 4th. This is a 24-hour trade, which is about to enter in the next 30 minutes. Then it'll enter right at this entry point. I set the entry point up properly. So now it has a full stop loss and it has a full take profit. It's at a 2/3 ratio. Keeps it simple, keeps it easy, as well as if it does hit the lower aspect of this trade, this will be in the main debt. This will be a deep thousands of dollars in profit in this main trade over the last 7 days, or this last week. As well, guys, that some people do get this, that the new moon does play an effect in sells and in the lowering of the market, as well as full moon represents very high peak points in high buy markets or high bullish markets is what it also is, which means that it's trending upwards. Okay. And then bearish ultimately for new moons and stuff like this. And you can start to see that it does play a part in peaks and valleys of the market per se. And so by you understanding even the 8 cycles of the moon, you can almost see where it is at in the grand scheme of things. Okay. That's pretty much it, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, much love, namaste. See you guys soon.